welcome back to the HTS. We are in day 2 and we have started top 16. We're going to be featuring Cyrus against Crackdown 2 for this top cut. We also do have a metagame breakdown for you with the decks that are in top 16. And for this round, I will be joined by European champion Gabriel Susi. Hi, Gabe.
Hi.
So, for the deck breakdown, we have, as expected, around 5 rock decks, around 3 Eldritch Synchro decks, and then some other decks like Badalche, Mech Knight Invoked, Burning Abyss finished first after Swiss, Rocket, of course, and Zombie Eldritch, which is quite an interesting deck. What is your opinion on this top cut?
Yeah, it's missing Salah, but otherwise it's a good subcut.
Wait, do you think Salamangreat is a good pick for events right now at the current stage of the metagame?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the same meta for a long time now, and Salah is just a good pick if you wanna be sure to do well into the top cuts. But yeah, lot of rock decks, lot of Synchro Eldlich, some Dino as well.
Correct. That I forgot to mention. There are Dino decks in this top cut. Quite an annoying deck. Miscellaneous effect, etc., etc. But
Exact.
yeah.
And now we are gonna feature Zombie Eldlich against
Correct.
uh, uh, against Madolce, right?
I think so. We will have to wait and see if that is the case, but I believe that this is the matchup. It's quite interesting for a top cut of a big event. I think it's a reflection of the player base that we have, but at the same time, these players definitely know what their decks do. So it will
Definitely.
be quite interesting. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the decks?
First, you gotta notice that if someone is in the top cut of this kind of tournament, it means they won at least 6 out of 8 rounds, so they obviously know what they are doing. Um, and my thought about the decks, I think Madolce is weird. I like the deck when everything is resolving, it's doing a lot of card advantage and going second. It's really good, but I think it's too breaky and too weak against hand traps. For example, Nibiru and Zombie at Dish is I don't know anything about the deck. All I know is Zombie and I know Eldlich, but I don't know the interaction between the two except the fact that Eldlich cards can special summon zombies from the deck. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. All
All
right,
right.
they can start now. The Madolche player has won the rock paper scissors. Well, as far as we know, he is playing Madolche. We will have to wait and see. Let's see if he plays the going second build and decides to go second here.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Right, he goes first, so his deck is designed to go first. I assume.
Yeah.
See how he goes. Oh, so
All
he's
right.
playing dinosaur. My bad. My bad. He is playing dinosaur.
Okay, so it's
It's
dinosaur against
zombie eldritch. Yeah,
Zombie Eldlich. Okay,
still quite an interesting matchup. Um,
it is.
my mistake on misinforming you guys. However, this is still quite an interesting matchup because there is still a zombie eldritch player involved. Um,
Exact.
I have to see. So he opened Lost World and Muscle Dick and Oviraptor. So this combo is really good through hand traps because he is forced to use stuff like Impermanence right here. Otherwise, Lost World would stop that. And he has Miscellaneous Saurus, the 3-card combo that all Dino players seem to open this format.
Hmm. So someone I respect told me that this is an FTK, so we'll see what happened now.
Yeah, we know this person that you respect. He is not wrong. This is an FTK.
Yeah, it looks like it is. I mean, Double Vader is destroying this combo, but yeah.
That is very true. But then you also have Miscellaneous Saurus, and you can go from there.
Sure, sure.
I have to wait and see what kind of combo he is going for. Maybe
Do you think he's
VFD.
playing? Do you think he's playing the synchro stuff?
I mean, he is going first, so I have to assume that he is. Because if you're not playing the synchro stuff, why would you want to go first? He sends
Yeah.
Giant Rex, which is very interesting.
Yeah. What does it mean exactly?
I think what it means is that he already has a baby in his hand.
Yeah, definitely. No, he doesn't really need to have a
Alright, so he's going
baby.
for this iteration of the combo. Yeah, he's going to access the baby from his field and then summon Animador the Archosaur with Miscellaneousaurus, I
Yeah,
think. Right, he goes for Petite, which is a really good card because not only is it another baby, but it can also summon Dino Rastal Pranketops, which is a really good card right now.
true. So now, the good thing about Petit Pteranodon is the fact that you can summon Pancratops if you're playing it.
Yep, this is why it has become a standard one-off in most dinosaur decks. Yep, here it
Alright.
comes.
So Pancratops at this point of the combo is kinda weird. Looks like he's not playing the Synchro stuff.
It doesn't look like he's playing the Synchro stuff, that's true. I think he's just going to end on the standard board of Secure Gardener, Dolka, Pancratops, and
But he
Conductor.
definitely has Tyranno somehow. Yeah, so
Yeah, with double
from the
evolution
peel.
build.
True.
Yep.
Alright. So that combo was like immune to hand traps, literally, because of
Yep.
Miss.
It's immune to hand traps because of Miscellaneousaurus, and although Dolka is not a dinosaur monster, it negates any hand trap. So if he does end up having Nibiru, that still gets stopped. Um,
Yep. Now Gigantrix
however,
coming back.
that's going to be used to make Dolka. We'll have to wait and see if the Zombie Eldritch deck can play through interruptions like that because I don't know that much about the deck. So maybe it can play through this, maybe it can't. We would have to wait and see.
Yep. So maybe Lagia can be considered here. If you already have Pancratops and Tyranno, maybe Lagia is cool to do. You know?
There we go.
In defense mode though,
That
I don't know
is
if it's really useful.
questionable. Yeah. I mean, like, at this point, you have to assume that everyone knows what each other is playing, right? So, like,
Yeah, definitely.
since since the dinosaur player probably knows what he's playing against, he's making Lagia because it's probably just correct to do that. Stand by face, he flips Survival's End. This is a card that has not been in that many dinosaur decks. Let's see what it does. Um, so it destroys normal monsters, and then it summons a level 4 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck. I assume they use this to get a good fodder for Tyranno. Doesn't seem necessary, but it's quite a cool interaction, I suppose, with Lost World.
Yeah, it can special summon. You can protect the token and special summon a Pancratops during the opponent's turn, for example.
That is also quite true, yeah. That's actually pretty good.
And then you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one dinosaur type you control and one card your opponent control and destroy them. Also. So that's another cool effect you can use.
You can use this. Okay. You can use this effect the same turn it was sent to the graveyard. That's actually pretty good, yeah. Not bad.
So now he has Tyranno, Lagap, and Kratops, and this card in his graveyard. And he's gonna be able to add Miss. So his Pancratops, I mean, he's well, nothing. Nothing, I mean nothing, because Pancratops can attribute.
Yeah,
So yeah,
he already used
Tyranno.
Conductor. Yep.
But for next turn, it's a good follow-up.
Yeah, that's the thing about Dinosaur. It stops your opponent and it generates your follow up in the process. And there we go. The zombie Elder Spirit has way too much advantage and goes straight to game two. Now, what are your expectations for the cards that we can see being excited in this kind of matchup?
I think in Dino you have evenly match um a lot of the time. Also Lightning Storm. Um so Cyrus, I don't know what kind of board Cyrus can make when going first. Because his deck is Zombie Eldlich. So we know what Eldlich is doing when going first, but how is Zombie bringing something to the board? Maybe a
So
bunch of Synchro?
I assume what he is doing is that he is using Unizombie as a card that can either dump Golden Lord, or if he does have access to the Eldritch engine, he can dump Doom King Ballardorch instead. which is quite a good card when Zombie World is face up on the field. So I think it's something to do with that kind of interaction in his deck. So
Mm-hmm.
he'd like set up Zombie World with Doom King and maybe Vampire Sucker and a couple of Eldlich back row. I don't know how consistent that is, but it sounds quite problematic for a lot of decks to deal with. Something really good about Ballard Roach is that in this matchup specifically, it will be able to banish Miscellaneous Saurus from the graveyards, which is really important. It can be quite important at the end because Dinosaur isn't like the most consistent deck. So if it opens Miscellaneous Saurus as its only way to get into a play, and that gets stopped by the Doom King, then it's probably Cyrus's game from there. However, we will have to wait and see what the zombie engine really does.
Yeah, the problem you will have with that board is that I think what you're gonna do is special summon the Balrog with the Sanguine, but then your opponent is able to chain Miss, and once Miss is chained, all your negates and stuff are gonna be useless during the main phase. So we'll see what happened exactly, but I don't think Cyrus has a good matchup.
It does sound like Cyrus doesn't have a good matchup, and that's been the case for the majority of this format. I feel like there's been Eldritch decks, and then there's been decks that have a really good Eldritch matchup, and Dino happens to be one of these decks.
Yeah, sure. Dino has a good Eldlich matchup for sure. We'll see if having Miss is enough, because then all the interruption are still alive during the battle phase, so we'll see how he handled that.
That is true.
Hmm, I think Tyranno is a really good card in that matchup, but I don't think uh, it's a good win condition. It's definitely a win condition, but I don't like it because it's always gonna be a win more. It's never gonna save you. You're never gonna resolve Tyranno, and because resolving Tyranno, you're gonna win. In battle phase, the Tyranno is being destroyed by everything. So we'll see. All right. So Cyrus going first, obviously.
Well, wait. Okay, here comes a Unizombie. So he did have access to the aforementioned zombie engine. Let's see what it does.
That's nice though, because you're playing 6 Unizombie, right? Because he must be playing the Shiranu stuff.
For sure, for sure. I would have to assume so. Maybe he's playing five because five is the optimal number if you want to see one. But we'll have to see his deck list after the event, I suppose. He sent
Exact.
Necroworld Banshee, which banishes itself from the graveyard to activate Zombie World from the deck. He also used Unizombie's first effect to discard the Conquistador. That way he can trigger it in the end phase. Sets two cards, goes to end phase. This is probably going to give him a setup for a couple of interruptions on his opponent's turn. But then again, Dino just has a really easy time dealing with that because of Miscellaneous Horus.
Yeah. So he's gonna be able to activate the zombie wall during the opponent's turn, and he has a Sanguine, which is gonna be able to special summon Lord. Two other
hmm
back row and a card in his hand.
I mean, he discarded Conquistador with Unizombie, which tells me two things. It tells me that he has another Golden Land, and it also tells me that he doesn't have an Elixir. Because if he had an Elixir, I don't think it was correct to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how strong is zombie world against Dino. I don't know if they can manage to do something if all their monsters are suddenly zombies. So maybe sending something that was like and literally zombie world was good in every scenario. Okay, so activating Miss, chaining Banshee. Now every dino are gonna be zombies still, I think.
hmm Which means that
And
you can interrupt them, right? Because they're not considered dinosaurs on the field.
exact. And also also the problem is that all the interaction you have with Lost World are dead, but now that is that is
That's
a huge
huge.
problem. Okay. Okay, it's
Yes,
okay. He
judgment.
has the
There we go.
judgment.
There we go. That would
So
have been a
he's
swift
just safe.
2-0.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's one of the problem of this kind of deck, which is that they have to die to some cards, and they have to play Judgment, which is the only card that can help them in that situation, except for the counter trap, the Eldlich counter trap. But you're not gonna set it every turn, so
That's true. It's not a guarantee. Um,
yeah,
Obviously, there are ways to like not decide not to commit and keep some cards in your hand, but against a deck like Dino, you probably don't have a chance to do that because they either kill you or set up a game state that you can't recover from.
yeah. All right, let's see if Crackdown understand that he's not under Mies anymore because of the zombie war.
He does
I mean,
seem to
he's under
understand the
Mies, but
interaction.
Oviraptor is not a dino, so
Hmm. Still has Miscellaneousaurus in his graveyard, which means at the very worst he has a conductor here. And it's something really important to note actually. Cyrus only has 4,000 life points because he activated Solemn Judgment, which means that there's a good chance that this is well over game. We know that he has Scarlet Sanguine set, so maybe it's not going to be the end of this duel in this turn. But I do feel like the dinosaur player is in a very good position here.
yeah. All right,
It
so
activates
Lost
Lost
Wolf is
World.
here.
He opened the 3-card combo and Lightning Storm.
Yeah, it seems like they always have it, as you said. All right.
Right, he opts to go to battle phase and just attack over the Uni Zombie.
Yeah, I don't think he can do a lot more. That's crazy. Zombie World is just
Yeah,
handling it.
because Zombie World stops Archosaur from resolving, right? Unless he has a dinosaur in hand.
Yeah, he needs a dinosaur in hand.
Sets one and passes.
All right.
And phase Sanguine is
And
gonna come down.
now the Eldlich engine is taking over the zombie engine.
This is where we enter turn 3 and we start the grind game, and I do feel like the Eldritch deck is generally going to be favored in this case.
Definitely. With Zombie World on the field, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's one of these
now,
cards that go ahead.
he's gonna be able to resolve the Elixir card in his graveyard, but he still needs to top deck something because I don't know if it's gonna be enough against Dino maybe, but against other decks, this turn zero seems a bit weak to me.
I agree. I do think it's quite weak, but in a simplified game state like this, it seems like that might be enough. He does normal summon Ash Blossom here, which tells me that he might be going for Harky Fibrax.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. It would be quite interesting to see what Harky Fibrax does in his deck. Since he's playing zombie cards, is he also playing Aurora Dawn?
That's interesting to know. Um, what I know is that he can't do a Raradon because all his monsters are zombies.
Well, he can send the zombie war to the graveyard to use Lord, right?
Yeah, but that's his win condition as we saw last turn.
Correct. He summons the Glow Up Bloom, which is part of the zombie engine and is also a
Yeah.
tuner conveniently, which makes a lot of sense. It will give him access to Doom King Ballard Rush, so I do really feel like that this might be the end of this game, but we'll have to wait and see.
Alright, so he's doing Ninkuribo and Glow Up Bloom is activated.
He
It
summons
can special
Golden Lord.
summon a Golden Lord or any zombie, basically.
Hmm.
But he decided to special summon as a Golden Lord.
I think that tells us that he wants to access Golden Lord, but he also wants to keep Zombie World on the field, which means he understands that that card is doing a lot of work here.
Mm-hmm. So he's playing Guardian. That's interesting as well.
It's not the usual choice for most Eldritch players.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now it comes down. All right, because
Now that's really
Golden Lord
interesting.
allows you to do that. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So that's why he wanted to put the Golden Lord with the Gloom, because then
Hmm.
he was able to special summon Balderog with the Golden Lord in his graveyard. So
Hmm.
Balderog has now 3,800 attack and is not destroyable by card effects. So
It's quite big. I also think this deck only plays one Doom King because it's a brick, essentially, but it's just part of the end board. So you probably just didn't have one in deck to summon off Glow Up Boom.
Yeah, true, maybe. I think it's like Dino. It's kind of a win con, so maybe they might be playing more than one, but it's fair to assume that they are playing one. So
That makes
now
sense.
now what? Because the problem was Zombie World last turn, and it's still on the field, but there's more now.
Yeah, I don't think this is recoverable, to be honest. Once the
Yeah,
Lightning Storm wasn't resolved, I think it was game over because Zombie World is just. It's like one of these cards. You read it and you're like, huh, it doesn't do much, and then you realize it actually hurts your deck a lot. So
yeah,
I think we're going to be
definitely,
going to game 3.
definitely. All the interaction you have with your archetype are destroyed. All right.
Right? Game 3.
So I think even if the deck is activating Zombie World and stuff, he still needed to have Lightning Storm. I mean Judgment.
That is true. That is true.
That is a problem, I
I
think.
mean,
But
so is the case with almost any back row deck really. Like any deck that sets cards, it is susceptible to stuff like Lightning Storm, even though their win condition has to do with having a certain spell or trap being able to recur or disrupt your opponent. So do you think the Dino player is going to go first again?
mm-hmm. Using Extravagance.
Yep. So this does confirm that he doesn't play the synchro stuff. Going first again makes sense because Zombie World is just such a threat to the dinosaur deck.
Yeah, it is.
Normal
So when
summons
you're not
baby.
playing when you're not playing the Synchro engine, you can play Extravagance, which is really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
That might be part of the choice of why not running the Synchro engine sometime for some players.
Right, so it seems like the dinosaur player did not open a very good hand. So
Yeah,
this time he did
definitely.
not open the 3-card combo. However, we did see Survival's End, which might be quite annoying here. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really interesting because it's gonna be able to special summon a Pancratops and destroy another card.
Mm-hmm.
So that's two interruption.
Do you think it's correct to play Survival's End on a dinosaur deck?
I don't know. I did not play Dinosaur Pure enough to tell you that, but I think it's a good card when it resolves.
That is very fair. What? Let's see what he does here. He's thinking about protecting the token instead of just using the normal effect, which might be a cause of wanting to go into Pancratops as you mentioned earlier. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. But Survival's End, a really good card.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know if it's better to resolve the field effect or the survivors and effect, but he knows better than us.
Yep, he is the dinosaur player that's in the top cut, so we will have to assume that what he does is, the optimal play. Right, so he decides to summon Petit Taradon.
Yeah, because it's gonna be able to summon Pancratops at some point.
Correct, because he will be able to use Survival's End's, I believe, second effect to destroy the Petit and something that Cyrus commits to the field, and then
Yep.
summon Pancratops, which will
For
be quite a nifty interaction.
it is, it is. It's gonna destroy two cards at some point. So it's really interesting to see. And now we're gonna see if Zombie is able to play through disruptions.
Yep. All right, so he also starts with Extravagance. Um,
It's a good card.
it's a really good card.
Alright, drawing two.
I mean, I would like to think that he is able to do something through these interruptions. Otherwise, I don't understand how he got to top cut. His deck has to be able to do something through interruptions.
Yeah, but it's not usual interruption. It's two destructions, and destructions against a deck that is not able to put a lot of monsters on the field is kinda painful. So I don't know, because the board of Crackdown wasn't it was immune to hand trap. It was like it was just resolving survival's end. Survival's end, by the way, can be ashed, I think, yeah. So that would be a problem if Cyrus opened Ash, Survival's End wasn't able to resolve.
I mean, Crackdown also activated Extravagance earlier, so if he opened Extravagance and Survivals, and then the Extravagance would have been Ash beat for the Survivals and to resolve. But maybe
Yeah,
he
but then
just
you need to have Survival's End plus a dinosaur and a Lost Ward.
That's correct. That's a lot of requirements.
But
All right,
it's
he commits
doable.
into Survivals End here, targets Baby and Cursed Eltonand, which tells me that he doesn't have Cosmic Cyclone in his background.
Yeah, definitely. It also help us to know that he just wants to survive one turn. He doesn't care about the CA of the engine stuff. Okay, and there is Ash here.
Here comes Ash. All right, will be interesting to check the replay later on and see if he already had it and held it, or if he drew it through Extravagance.
I definitely think that if Dino is using extravagance, you gotta still Ash it, even if you had
Yep.
only Ash.
So it's probably like his sixth card or something he saw off Extravagance. We see
Yep,
Lord coming down here, which is huge actually.
it
Because it's
is.
gonna send this. If this resolves, then Crackdown has no engine, right?
I mean, he still has a card in his hand, but
I mean,
it's
he
not.
didn't opt to normal summon that card, so it's definitely not an Oviraptor. It's definitely not a Miscellaneous Saurus. So I think it's safe to assume that it's a top deck that's going to determine whether or not he has engine next turn.
It depends on the back row. If you have good back rows, you may keep the Oviraptor in your hand and summon the baby Cerazars,
You think so?
like with the survival's hand. Yeah, it might be it's a possibility. If you just think that your Oviraptor combo is losing to one hand trap, and that display is safer around to play around Imperium Invader, then maybe it was the best play to do.
That sounds reasonable. Yeah, makes sense. We'll have to wait and see,
So
obviously.
yeah, so we'll see later, but definitely it has low chances to be an Oviraptor.
Mm-hmm. Here comes. Oh,
Okay.
that's interesting. Paleozoic on Noidi. So is he playing the Paleozoic engine from 2018?
I mean, there's no reason to do not play Cyclone instead of Olenoid, except if you're playing the whole engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Probably,
there must be more Paleozoic stuff in his deck.
for sure. So I assume his deck is basically Paleozoic dinosaur, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I think post siding he's siding like 8 Paleozoic or something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense because if you're main decking that in Dinosaur, a deck that's so good going second, you're just making it so bad going second when that's like the best thing the deck does. So I feel like siding these cards might make more sense.
Yeah, true, true. Alright, normal summon Glow Bloom, which is not doing a lot without the zombie world. Okay, that's interesting. He's using the Lord effect right now to summon Lord, because I thought he would be using Bloom to add something and then Lord to special summon what he added, but it looks like it's not what he's doing.
You know, the Paleozoic Marella comes down.
Yeah, so he's gonna be able to protect himself from an attack. That's also not what I will be doing, because you wanna be like, I think 2500 HP are uh
No, I think I
okay to
know why
lose
he's
now.
doing it. I think he's doing it because the Paleozoic monster is treated as a normal monster. So see, yeah, if Cyrus attacks into it, he can now use Lost
Hmm.
World.
True, true. I
So,
did not think about that. That's true.
so
And
that's the
also
interaction between the two engines.
Maria sending survival end is
Big.
amazing.
It's quite big, yeah.
He might be playing Trap Trick as well.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if he's playing Trap Trick in a deck like this. Makes
Hmm.
sense.
So now Baby is resolving. Second time trying to resolve it.
I don't think Cyrus realized that that's what the Paleozoic engine did. Otherwise, he definitely shouldn't have attacked into the monster,
Yeah,
right?
he will definitely not attack.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. I think Crackdown might just end up winning the game, but we have to remember that Cyrus has a lot of advantage in his graveyard. He has one Elixir and two Guardian and two Golden Land traps.
Also,
So
Bloom is a tuner, so there's some little fiber plays.
we'll have to wait and see if he didn't banish the requirements from Extravagance. But yes, he does have the option to go for that.
Alright, so Fever. Oh,
Nope,
Sucker.
Vampire Sucker.
Alright, so he's gonna be able to use Sucker's effect here to draw one card when he's gonna special summon a zombie, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm. But I don't think. Yeah, I think Bloom searches because Zombie World is not on the field. So
true. But because Zombie World is not on the field, Sucker is not gonna be able to resolve, I think.
it will on his opponent's turn because of the Elixir traps.
Yeah, but it's if a zombie monster is special summoned from either graveyard.
Correct. So he can use Sanguine to summon the Lord from his graveyard,
Exactly
and
right.
then draw one.
So that might be good for to draw an hand trap.
But it also does seem like quite a desperate play, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. Alright, so
Something
in
something really
phase.
cool here is that if he's playing two copies of White Destiny, he can set a Sanguine and a White Destiny, and this way he can access Lord from his graveyard. Yeah, there we go. Access Lord from his graveyard using White Destiny, and then summon any zombie monster he wants from his deck using Sanguine.
And that is different. Now it's different because he's gonna be able to have the zombie world on field, I think. Because he can special summon the card that banish itself from the graveyard or from the field to activate zombie world if he wants to.
That's true.
I don't know if it's what he's gonna do, but it's definitely a possibility.
All right, so he flips Scarlet Sanguine in the draw phase. Let's see if that's met with an Ash Blossom.
Yep.
His opponent is taking his time to think, so he might have something. Maybe a Twin Twister on the other two backwards. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know. I don't think he's setting in Twin Twister here if he's setting in the Paleozoic engine.
I mean, I think he's main decking them. I was just informed that he's main decking the Paleozoic stuff, so maybe he's siding Twin Twister on top of that. I don't know.
Yeah. Um. mm, So if he's thinking here, it means that it's either he wants to resolve Miss and he wants to chain it, or
I mean, he
he
can't use
has
Mist because it's
Ash.
the draw phase.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Yeah, I'm
Hmm,
sorry.
no
All right.
worries.
So chaining.
Yeah, he's chaining so that he can have an Eldlich card so that he can summon any zombie he wants. His opponent is still thinking, so
Hmm. So let's see what it's. I really don't know what he's gonna special summon from Sanguine. Oh, that
um
was why. That was why.
true. Does Doom King Ballardorch require any field spell, or does it have to be Zombie World?
Any field spell.
So he can summon that, and that would be considered interruptions, right?
Yeah, if Zombie World is on the field, yeah. Otherwise, not really.
Okay,
I mean, if he summon, yeah, because if he summon Balrog and Lord from the graveyard, and then Sucker is activating, he can banish something with Balrog.
correct.
Yeah.
There's a Current
a bit
dispute happening.
of a
Yeah.
talk, and the judge or the
Our
judges.
judges will be dealing with that.
Yeah.
Um,
So the problem is Crackdown is saying that he chained Maria and then chained Survival, but he just can't chain Maria to a spell card.
I activated Sang. Yeah. All right. It seems like it's been sorted. Seems like it's been sorted.
Definitely, Crackdown
So
was just confused about the whole chain link.
correct. Um, he did end up activating Survival Zen. Oh, and the Doom King Ballardarsh does come down here.
Yeah,
Um,
and Seeker is gonna draw. Baldrock is gonna banish. What would you banish here? I mean, there's
I
only one one card
I
you can
mean,
banish.
I think Lost World is the only thing you can banish, right?
Yeah, Paleozoic are immune to monster effect, which was really strong against Zodiac at the time.
You didn't
Hmm.
you didn't play during Zodiac format. How do you know this?
I mean, I was alive, so I know that. I just
Fair enough.
wasn't playing. I was playing Paleo, so I was activating traps.
I understand. Makes sense.
All right. So now what? He needs another dino at least to try something.
Yeah, well, he needs to have engine here. I think Conductor will be really strong here. Here comes Pancratops. That's a good start.
It
Um,
is.
because Lost World is going to trigger, and then he can use Pancratops to pop the token, and then
Yeah.
protect it with Lost World and access his engine using that. Something important to note is that he's already ran through 2 baby Ceratosaurus and 1 PT Pteranodon. In most dinosaur decks, I do think that's the ratio for the babies. So maybe he's out of them, but maybe because he's playing cards like Survival Zand and a bit of a more, dinosaur pure deck with Paleozoic stuff, maybe he's playing a bigger engine.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think if you play that kind of deck, you definitely need to play three baby at least. Now activating Miss. So all the dinos on the field that he control are not gonna be affected by the activated cards effect. So no more hand trap. But Ash is
Ash
able to
Blossom is
resolve.
really big here. It's really, really big here.
I mean, it's okay. You still, I mean, if he has no more baby, it's a problem. And
That's
it looks
that's
like he
that's
has no
exactly
more.
what. Yeah.
That's really maybe he's siding out some babies and when going first.
Wouldn't you side them out going second if anything, and just keep
I
them
mean,
going first?
yeah, definitely you're siding them going second for sure, but going first, what are you siding out if you're not siding out the babies? So
I
yeah,
mean, I
that's
think maybe a better question to ask is what would you be siding in to begin with? Because you're playing trap cards and you're playing dinosaur engine. What do you side in this kind of deck
I
going
mean
first?
I think you're definitely siding judgment if you're playing trap cards like that. If your turn can be like so if he's playing some trap trick stuff and paleo stuff, judgment is always a good card to have because he
That's true.
can't be protected from lightning storm and heavenly at all.
But his dinosaur engine also protects him from these cards, so maybe he just chose not to play them.
That's true with the token of Lost World.
And
Um,
as well as Lagia as well.
I mean, I don't know if he's resolving combos every
That's
time.
true.
The combo he did was a 3 card stuff, but it's interesting that he's sometime ending on trap cards only, and sometime on some huge combo. It's kind of hard to set against this type of deck.
It's true. He's attacking into the
Also
token now, and we'll see if
protecting,
he's
yeah,
protecting or if he's not.
yeah. Also to protect yourself from lightning storm, you need to open Lost World. So it's like
That's true.
I
All
don't
right,
know. It
he is going
depends.
to protect,
Yeah.
but he sends Miscellaneousaurus, so it's safe to assume that he's out of babies at this point.
Yeah, so what he could do was sending a giant Rex before using Miss, but it seems like He needed his battle phase.
I mean, what would that Giant Rex have done? It would have just been an additional body on the field, right? Nothing more.
Yeah, nothing more. So he's trying to keep his engine going, but I mean, it's really, I'm really confused about the fact that he's trying to play a grand game dinosaur deck, but his engine is running out so fast.
Yep, this is one of the weaknesses of the dinosaur engine. Once they get into a grind game, it's actually really easy to see them run out of the engine.
Yeah, and now there's going to be a problem because all the big monsters of Cyrus are still here.
Yep.
Even if Sucker is in the graveyard. Okay, so Golden unsetting an elixir card that is gonna be able to special summon any zombie from the deck.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Cyrus is in a commanding position, and he might end up in our top 8 cut, but we will have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Also,
What can
something
be the
really
last
interesting
stat?
to note. Sorry to interrupt. There is a rocket deck in top 8. There is a dinosaur deck in top 8, and there is a rock deck in top 8 so far. So we still have 5 games going on. This being one of them.
Okay, so drawing our had already another extravagance.
He's only going for 3, so he's only going
Yeah,
for upstart instead of going for pot of greed.
yeah.
It resolves. I think it's fair to assume that the last set that the set that Crackdown has is a Paleozoic trap, because he's already burnt through 2 survivals, and so having the third copy is very unlikely now.
Yeah, it can also be any type of trap, other trap card that are not in the engines, but yeah, it's more likely gonna be a Paleozoic trap. So Dynamiscus is not able to resolve here. Well, I
Yep,
know
and
it would have been activated.
hmm
Maybe Canadia.
do
Another
you think
Maria would be the worst one, definitely.
for sure, unless he plays stuff like Lost Wind, but Lost Wind does nothing here.
Yeah, the only card he can send is another survival end, but I don't
He's
think
out
it's
of
gonna help
babies,
him.
so yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now activating Lost World. He's gonna be able to activate Zombie World by banishing his Necro World Banshee from the graveyard.
It's true. He can also just banish it from his field if he decides to do that.
Yeah,
Um,
he can do more link stuff before. Okay.
let's see what's
So,
happening here.
do you think there's a possibility to OTK through that
Um,
board?
I think there might be. I mean, it also depends on what he has in his extra deck left. Because like, if he has access code, of course it's very easy. He only needs to force the Pancratops and then make access code and have a big monster, which his
Mm-hmm.
deck can do. I feel like there could be a possibility to have game on board, but I feel like it might be a bit of a greedy play. So
Mm.
maybe realistically speaking, what he will do is just try to establish a board and then put Crackdown on a top deck and have interruptions and then just finish the game off in his next turn, which feels like a better play.
Yeah, it's what's gonna happen for sure. Because now that Zombie World is gonna be on the field, Crackdown is in a tough situation.
hmm you see, Dinosaur has a 3-card FTK, but Cyrus has a 1-card FTK. All he needs is Zombie World.
True. And the Eldlich engine helps him to get access to it.
Yep. So we are seeing the synergy between these two engines now. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be really strong against a lot of deck. Zombie World is also good against Rock, right?
Let's see. It's
Just
like
mm,
fine. You can't make Gallant Granite. Wait, you can.
you
So I'm
can
not
special
sure
summon
how strong it
Researcher.
is.
I mean, it does it. You cannot special summon researcher. What can you also not do?
Yeah, you're locked from researcher, but
That's it, I
I
think.
think that's it.
Yeah, so not that important to have against rock. Oh,
I think the win con in against Rock is Doom King Ballardroch. That card is a pain in the
can
ass
you
to deal
resolve
with.
Doki Doki?
Yes,
Because
because it's it discards a rock monster from your hand. So it's like the cost. The
yeah,
card you're discarding is a rock in your hand. It changes attribute in the graveyard, but I still
yeah,
think
but then
it's
Doki Doki says the effect is you can special summon a monster that has the same. Is it saying type or it's just attribute and level?
it says same type and attribute and level.
So the problem is that in graveyard it's gonna be a zombie, so I don't know if you're able to resolve it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, this I've never had this come up. I play rock a lot, but I've never had this interaction come up. So I'm not sure.
Mm. All right, so there's a bit of a talk about well, I know it being affected by monster card, but Cyrus is saying that he wants to tribute the Olinoid.
So the judge has given his ruling, or from what it
Yeah,
seems.
tributing isn't a monster effect. I don't know why they are. How am I missing something?
No,
How
but
did
it does
he
seem
get rid
like
of?
seems like there's a game on the board.
Yeah, but how? Why Pancratops and Olinoid left the field?
I'm not sure. They just disappeared, right? Like I didn't see them declare any
Oh,
effect.
I think he tried to Pancratops his own Olenoid and try to resolve Lost World, no? I don't know.
Doesn't Pankratop say opponent? Yeah, Pankratop says opponent.
True? So how? Why? I'm missing something.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
we're both missing something for sure.
okay, so he
Um,
summoned multiple lords. Okay, okay. What is that? Okay, that's because of Vampire Seeker. If you will tribute a monster for a tribute summon, you can tribute a zombie monster your opponent controls. And I think he no-mode summoned Golden Lord or something.
yeah, that's what he did. All right, I understand.
Thanks,
Yep.
Nash.
Yep.
And then he was able to attack for a lot of damages.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this game is over. I
Yeah,
think
it is.
took quite a
Um,
lot of time on the round as well. Holy shit.
if he had more, if his engine wasn't that lethal, you know, if he had more babies, maybe the game would have been different. But and he
Yeah,
has not the place to run all he wanted to run.
we also saw Cyrus playing into the Lost World earlier on when Crackdown summoned the Paleozoic monster, which was looking pretty bad for him, but he still managed to recover and establish this board that we currently have on the field.
Hmm. So I'm a bit sad about not seeing Mizuki really resolving to special summon Firewall from the graveyard, but okay.
I can tell you what you should do. You should go back to 2018 using a time machine and then go back to that format.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Looks like he's scooping. Yep. So we have Zombie Unleash in top 8. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Let's hope he goes as
All
far
the
as he
way.
can.
Yeah, yeah. We will have to wait and see, I guess. But so far, Cyrus is doing really well with Zombie Unleash deck. I don't think anyone expected to get this far. Um,
Definitely.
we will be back. Top 8 is starting.